All right, well, we finally have a bit of a break between events. Last month was insane with drifting and prep and moving and holidays and with mullet race. There's been a lot of stuff, and we haven't had time to work on the projects. We've just been kind of maintaining the fleet so we can go drive and race and have a lot of fun. But now we finally have some time to dig back into the projects, and I'm so excited. I am ready to dive full force back into the projects, namely the K-Swap Zafiro build. But before we do that, I've worked in this space enough. We did some beginning shop upgrades when I first got this place, and then I've kind of figured out what needs to be done past that to kind of make it a more efficient workspace. And before we dive full force back into that, I want to go ahead and knock out some of these shop projects to make this a more efficient workspace, get it kind of sorted out, and that way it'll just make our lives easier while we're working on the project. So I've actually done a few things already. So thing number one, there was a tree here, right where this patch of dirt is. There was a tree here, and I wanted to keep it because the main reason I bought this place was because I love all the trees in the shade. However, it was dead anyway, so it didn't really matter. Cut that out to make it a lot easier to get my enclosed trailer in. It was quite a challenge with that tree there. Much easier now. And I've got some firewood here for whenever I get around to building a fire pit in the backyard. But that is a project for another day. So another thing we did, another thing I noticed that was kind of a struggle is when I'd get back with the trailer at night and need to back the trailer in, I couldn't see the driveway opening. I would pull down the road and I literally couldn't tell where my driveway opening started and ended. It was just so dark. So what I ended up doing is I was gonna get some lights kind of like my neighbors have and put them in to the side, but the problem is I'd have to start like all the way back here because the trailer has to cut through the yard here coming in and cut through the yard there going out. So I was like, what do I do? Do I put some lights, just 2 pole lights, yada yada. So anyway, I found these. So these are like deck lights, solar deck lights. So they're an aluminum case. They're supposed to be able to handle 20 tons. Now I don't trust that, but as you can see, there's rubber on it. I have intentionally ran these over and ran them over when I've been parking the trailers, and they seem to be holding up good. So now I have 6 on each side. So I've got them equally spaced. On this side, I had to cut this last one short so I didn't like protrude it into the opening of like the circle around driveway, and put the 5th one or the 6th one here. And then on this side, they're evenly spaced, boom, to there. And then that's kind of like where you cut in with the trailer. So it kind of worked out. They're not perfectly even, but it's really nice at night. I'll show you at night when it gets dark. Here is a clip of the lights at night. So you can see it just kind of perfectly outlines the driveway. They're bright enough to see them, but they're not like blindingly bright. You can see the little landscape lights. I mean, they kind of work. They're just, you know, I mean, what do you expect from a solar light? I was just hoping for a little more, but they work. But yeah, it looks so cool. Just super happy with it. Makes it so much easier to pull the trailer in here at night. Anyway, that was upgrade number 2. Definitely very handy. Now, onto the not yard stuff, the shop stuff. I know this is shop upgrades and that's driveway upgrades, but it's kind of all one and the same. Okay, in here. So before we get into today's shop projects, I want to show you guys an amazing gift for this holiday season, the Cove Commuter 2 Bluetooth speaker. Now, Cove is a sponsor of today's video and really a long-term sponsor of the channel. They make an excellent product. I have used this thing through and throughout. My friends have got one. My friends have used it. You know, I use it at the track. I use it in the shop. I use it in here. I use it in the house sometimes. And it is insane how loud this thing is for such a tiny little package. This thing is an absolute ripper. Let me show you. Medium volume, full blast. So yeah, super loud, super loud. But since I like my neighbors and I don't want to be blasting music so loud that they can hear it, what I do is I split it in half, because it splits in half, which I know, pretty freaking cool. And I'll put one, say over here, have one over there. That could turn my music down and still hear it no matter where I am in here. Walk over here, I got music. So it's a great way to surround yourself with music without blasting it so loud that everyone can hear it. So if you're interested in getting yourself a really nice Bluetooth speaker at a super affordable price, Cove is offering over 67% off if you use my link. I'll put the coupon code up here on the screen and down in the description as well. Not only are you getting a great speaker for yourself or a friend as a gift, but you're also helping support the channel. So huge thanks to Cove for sponsoring this video. it's time to get to work. Let's dive in. So project number 3 that I got done was hanging this bolt cabinet. I have a bunch of hardware. I like to try to buy in stock hardware just so that I have it. So like common sizes, M6, M8, M10. I've got rib nuts. I've got a bunch of different stuff. And for the longest time, it had been living in this drawer right here, which it's a good drawer for it, but as you can see, all that stuff is out and the drawer is still pretty packed. So the plan is to get all of this organized into here. So let's get this stuff sorted. All right, so I've got everything mostly sorted. I left myself some space to expand. I'm sure I'll need another one of these at some point, but for now I've got the majority of the stuff. I need to fill it up with some more hardware. I'm low on some stuff, but we've got M6, M8, M10, M12, and then kind of random stuff, rib nuts here, interior screws, interior clips, you know, M8 hex short. I'm terrible at drawing the hex head, as you can see. M8 hex medium, M8 hex long, M8 washers, M8 nuts, M8 Allen mist, all that stuff. Anyway. Really nice to have this stuff at least remotely sorted. So when I'm looking for some hardware, right there, grab it, we're done. So now that that's done, next thing I want to tackle, I want to get these lights wired in properly. So if you saw the first shop upgrades video, I put these lights in here. I did LED replacements for all this stuff as well. We've got to add some light over here, but before we even get to that, we've got to wire this in properly. So these light kits, I get them on Amazon and they come with like this cord with a little switch on it, which is cool. I mean, that totally works, but I want to wire it to this switch. This switch is for an outside light, so it's only one light, so we're going to wire them off this switch, which is over there, which works out perfect. Moral of the story, so let's get to work. Oh, too much crap up here. All right, we got the main breaker turned off, making anyone scary. Oh, I'm just kidding. I wonder what the proper tools are to strip this sleeving, because doing it with these kind of sucks. So I'm gonna put a junction box here, but for now, I just want to wire it up and see if it works. All right, I'm just gonna see if that works because I've got to kind of extend this wire. All right, turn the main breaker back on. Boom, okay. We've got the normal lights. Let's see. Ha! Yes. Oh, it's so simple, and obviously it was gonna work, but it was just exciting. It's a satisfying thing to be able to come in here and just flip these lights on and off with a switch instead of having to walk over there and turn them on. So sweet. Now we're just gonna go up there, mount the junction box, put it all in properly, and then make sure it still works. All right, we're gonna forego this one for now. I'm gonna need to run a longer wire, and it's just a spotlight, so kind of want to change that up anyway. All right, we still need to staple this wire up like that, re-staple this one, boom, like that, but hey, we got it wired. Let's go make sure it still works. All right, moment of truth time. Does it still work? Yeah, sweet. All right, cool. Oh, that went pretty well. Pretty happy with that. We do have more lighting to do. I gotta put some on this side. As you can see, it's pretty dim over here, especially like in this section over the workbench. We really need some more lighting over here. But we're gonna take a break from lighting and move on to some workbench stuff, because that really needs to get done. All right, let me get this old exhaust off here and I'll explain what we're doing. All right, I want to resurrect this workbench. This is one of the things that came with the house/shop when I bought it, and I like it. I used it a little bit, and it's pretty solid, but it needs some love. It needs some upgrades. So this is going to be the rolling workbench for in here. I am going to build a bigger one for out here to kind of go in the middle here, because I'm going to have the walls kind of packed with different stuff. But for now, this one can work as our inside and outside workbench. Again, eventually it'll live in here. Either way, it's a rolling workbench. Doesn't really matter where it lives. It's a nice rolling workbench. So let's get to cleaning this thing up. Gonna try to just get some of the scaly rust off it first. Alright, that's good enough. Alright, it's not great spray paint weather, but I think it'll get it done. It's a workbench, doesn't need to be perfect. Alright, our little roller wheels here don't come with nuts because they threaded into the legs on the table that I got them from. Perfect time to try out our bolt pin. See, I'm gonna guess that's M10 by 150 and 10 by 150 nuts. Boom, boom. This is why I love having hardware on deck. Imagine having to go to Ace for this. Moral of the story is we got nuts. Let's go put these wheels on. All right, just gotta let the paint dry for a little while longer, and then we can move on to the last step of this particular workbench restoration project. That's a little reaching. Workbench paint roller wheels. Upgrading, okay. All right, we got 48 by 21. What we're gonna do is put this MDF top on it. So Ben had this left over, and it's just a much nicer, smoother workspace. So we're gonna use this. Kind of funny that we're using the workbench that we're cutting this for to cut it. Don't want to make a mess inside. About perfect. All right, well, that is workbench number 1 done. Looks so much better with the MDF top. So much nicer and smoother. I'm stoked on this thing for a tiny bit of work. Nice solid workbench. One thing I will need to do is weld some plates on the bottom here and basically move the wheels to the center, because it just seems like it wants to bend the tabs, and if any one of the tabs is slightly crooked, then it kind of like binds up when the wheel needs to rotate. So that's something I'll do in the future. But before I can do that, I need to set up this workbench. So, you know, my bandsaw is not bolted down, my vise isn't bolted down, none of this stuff's bolted down, because I want to do the same thing to this bench. I want to put an MDF top on it. I hate the separated wood top. Stuff gets stuck in the cracks. It's not smooth, it's not even. So I want to go get some MDF and basically skin the top of this with MDF and then bolt all my stuff down, and then we can use it to do things like cutting out little metal squares and weld them into that thing. So I guess it's time to run to the store. Forgot I had trailer spares back here, but it kind of worked out to hold them down. We're gonna have to revisit the caster wheel situation sooner than later. They didn't handle the weight very well. Whoops. All right, caster wheel's intact this time. Not too bad. That was a little sketch, but I knew it would be. I just didn't want to ruin this piece. I made it just a little bit longer than here, just so it would kind of look a little better. That, dude. Fits nice. Not quite. Leftover piece I thought it might fit. I'm gonna have to cut a whole nother sheet for this last couple feet, but it'll be worth it. All right, well, the drop, if I turned it sideways, would fit here minus like an inch. This side is way longer overhang than that side, so I was like, I'll just cut it shorter, cut it straighter, because it was kind of crooked, and I don't have to dive into the next piece of MDF. I can save that for the workbench build for out there, as long as I can keep it in decent shape, which is probably going to be harder than I think. But anyway, get this cleaned up, get this thing screwed down, and then we can start putting all our stuff on here finally. Oh, that is so satisfying. It's so much nicer looking than the freaking multi-wood top. And we still got the stoutness of the bench underneath. Just a quick look before we start mounting stuff on it. Ah, really happy with it. I'm glad we made it a little bit wider. It was kind of narrow before, but that little like 3 inches is nice. Ah, it just looks so much cleaner. It just looks so much better. I'm so glad I did this. Anyway, first up we need to mount the vise because it kind of has a dictated location. It needs to be on the corner. Now the one downfall I didn't think about with my overhang is instead of bolting through the thick wood, on the front we're going to be bolting just through the MDF, but the back will be going through the thick wood, so I think it'll be all right. I don't know. We'll find out. If it's an issue, this piece is, you know, the short one, so it's not a big deal to replace it and figure out something if we need to. But for now, drill some holes, mount it, move on. The old bolt bend has already come in very handy. So I don't have quite the right size bolt. I hate using stacking washers, but don't have a choice at the moment. That's pretty sturdy though. Okay. Don't feel as bad now. Vise mounted 3 out of 4, 3/4, 75%. So I want to space this out a little more from the vise than I had it before. That seems good, because then we have this whole area here open. I have my cold cut saw as well, which we can put up there when we're using it, and then have this whole area. So I think I feel weird spacing it so far away. I don't know, man. You don't really need that much room with the vise, but you kind of do, because it like bumps into this thing. I don't know, maybe just like right here. All right, made my decision. Time to commit. Well, we're good on bolts for the front, but the rear, we have like 50, 60 mil bolts, and we have 100 mil. We need 80 mil, of course. So we'll bolt the front end, and then we'll order some in-between sizes for the back. All right, next up, lighting. So as you can see, it is quite bright over there with the 5 8-foot deals. Not so much over here, especially like back over there and back over there. It's just not enough light, at least for me. I mean, realistically, it's enough light. Let's be real. But for me, I like light. I like it being bright, especially in the day, you know. This is what it is. So, gotta decide what I want to do. I'm kind of conflicted on how many rows to add. I think I've decided. I'm going to add 3 rows. So I'm going to start at the second rafter in, skip a rafter there, skip a rafter there, and end it there. I'm going to try that. I think it should be enough. That's 9 more lights. I think it should be enough, but I kind of want to take these down, and if I did 4 rows, I could take these down for sure. Oh, I'm back to the dilemma. I thought I figured this out. I really did. What's wrong with me? All right, I think I've decided. For uniformity's sake, I'm going to do 4 rows, and I'm going to plan to delete these lights. That's my game plan. What I'm gonna do, let's just start doing it so I can't change my mind again. I've thought about this for a long time. On and off. We're doing it. We're going for it. Let's go. Move the ladder. So we have the leftovers from when I did these lights all put up. I got a 10 pack, that was 5. I just put 5 up. So I gotta break into the new pack, which is up there, which I have another 10, which obviously will easily cover us. We've got 3 more to do, technically, and then we can start wiring them up. Breakers off. Oh, let's turn the switches off. Got them all wired up. Okay, helps if you turn the breakers on. Let's try this again. Underneath. Boom! Look at that! Wow, that's definitely enough light. Wow! Wow, that is a lot more than I was expecting. That is what I was... Wow, that is so much better. Holy cow, that's only 8. Wow, I think just while I'm at it. I'm obviously gonna take this guy down. It is not needed any longer. And then I think I'm gonna take that one down, put 2 to 3, probably just 2 realistically, up there, because now that looks dingy. It's like every time I upgrade lights in one section, the next section looks dingy. Well, I'm gonna throw some lights up there real quick. All right, got those lights wired up. It's actually significantly more light, left my screwdriver up here, than before. I guess not significantly. It's a decent bit more light. Plenty, oh no, I dropped my screwdriver. Plenty of light. Plenty of light up here. Officially done for now. I'm sure I'll change my mind later with lighting in here. But you can see this switch does the left lights. This switch does the right lights. Right lights, left lights. Sweet, all right, cool. It's such an easy thing to do, but it's so time consuming with wiring, and I had to extend all the jumper wires, and anyway. Moving on, I am gonna clean my cars real quick before it gets dark. It's dark so freaking early now. I've gotta clean my Miata, the Pulsar, and my truck. So I got a lot of cleaning to do. So I'm gonna do that, and by the time I'm done with that, hopefully the package should be here to knock out the last project. It's a big project that needs to get done. I'm really tired of dealing with the nuisance of it not being done. So when that gets here, we'll dive into that. Probably be dark. See you then. All right, well, the cars are washed and truck, all looking spiffy. It's funny how dull the truck wheels get when they're not washed. So you wash them and they're so shiny again. It feels good though, it feels good. I haven't been able to wash anything since I moved in because I didn't have a pressure washer until recently, and felt good. Anyway, next project was to be the garage door opener. So mine kind of gave up the ghost. So it'll go down, but it will not go up. So I got the old one out.
What did you do?
I just unplugged this, the garage door opener thing. But putting the new one in is gonna be a little more involved than I had anticipated. There's a lot going on here. It might be quick, it might be easy, but I don't wanna rush through it trying to get it done tonight, so I'm just gonna wait and just knock it out in the morning. But before I let you go, one more look at the inside portion of the shop at night. Like I said, there's a lot more to do here. We're gonna close the outside in, and there's a lot. It could take me 10 minutes to explain the list, but so much better in here. You can really tell at night now how much brighter it is. It just opens the room up so much, because before all the light was down here, and now having the light up there and everything lit up, it's so much better. And the MDF top, I love it. I'm so happy. It's so much nicer in here. I'm really glad I did this before diving back into the projects. It'll just make life easier working on stuff in here, and you get the idea. So anyway, we're obviously gonna do more shop upgrades in the future, but for now, we're kind of tidied up. Everything's good to go, and we can start working on the cars again. So I hope to see you guys for that, but for now, that's gonna be it for this one. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, goodbye.